If you really want a strong and healthy spine and you really want to maintain overall strength, stay on the mats, and do jiu-jitsu for longer periods of time, there's really only one way that I would recommend strengthening your spine, and that is posterior chain strengthening. Hey, before you even get started with this content, make sure you download our free low back pain relief guide. It's a completely free guide and it's gonna help you with your low back pain. Let's get into it. So when I say posterior chain muscles, I really mean the muscles that are in the back of our body. The neck, the mid back, the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves. More specifically, I'm really talking about the hamstrings, the glutes, and the lower back, as well as the mid back, right? We really want to have a nice strong pulling mechanism. This is where good posture comes from. This is where power comes from. This is where the ability to pull somebody into a guard or a closed guard or into a position comes from. And if we are not strong in that posterior chain, essentially if we're not pulling somebody, we're probably pushing them, which means we're likely losing. And more importantly than pushing or pulling and losing in jiu-jitsu, it's really more about, can you maintain good spinal hygiene and posture? If you can't hold your spine up against resistance of forces or somebody like that, you're going to have a problem. And what I typically recommend in my patients is typically we have to have a couple days a week that we really work on posterior chain strengthening. I personally think that if we do a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 times a week where we're doing some sort of back and then posterior leg exercises as a dominant, then we are in a good position to set ourselves up. So when I talk about posterior chain exercises, I'm going to tell you a few of my top ones that I really like. So to start with my upper body, I really like a lot of rows and a lot of pulling. A lot of pulling means that we are in a dominant position and that we are actually pulling that person. We are doing single arm rows, we are doing bilateral rows, we are doing pullbacks, things like this, right? We could do bent over rows where we're rowing here. And more importantly, that I think that's really important is learning how to hinge at our hips, using our glutes and our hamstrings. So things like deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, kickstand deadlifts, where we're in this type of position generating power, right? We really want to focus on eccentrically and concentrically loading up the glutes and the hamstrings, as well as the posterior chain of our lower back. This is going to allow our lower back to be stabilized by the strong and powerful muscles. And if you do not have this as a capacity, it's not likely if you get injured, it's just when you get a spine injury. And I can promise you, you're going to regret not doing these exercises. So if you're somebody who wants to have a strong, stable spine, if you're somebody who wants to have some sort of powerful movement where you do jiu-jitsu, maybe you don't even do jiu-jitsu, but you want to have power and good posture, well, it's going to be really important that you work your back more than you work your front. So that is what I really recommend for posterior chain strengthening. That doesn't mean you won't ever do the front of your body. It just means that you should really focus more on the back side of your body than the mirror muscles and the front side. So hopefully this was helpful, guys, and I really will show you a lot more things in the future. If you have lower back pain, make sure you download our free low back pain guide. It is completely free. We'll show you exactly what you need to do, as well as some of the things that you should avoid so that you can get out of back pain. But again, try to focus on posterior chain strengthening. This is going to be a game changer for you. And I promise you, if you need help, shoot us a message, reach out to us. I'd be happy to help you. See you for the next episode.